Caitlin Clark made yet another appearance on, oh, I forget what the title of it is, but the NBA basketball now that is on NBC. I believe she's making three total. This was her second appearance. And of course, she was asked about this coming season, and we're going to take a listen to that. It's only about 30 seconds long.
Out there. Last time I went to the finals in 2015. Okay, you guys made the Simmons of the East last season. You have to watch from the sideline. Yeah, it's tough. Expectations, goals of this season. What you got for me? I mean, we were trying to win it all last year. That's certainly what we're trying to do this year. It's a very unique situation. I think there's over 100 players in the league that are free agents. So we really only know about 5 people or 3 people that are going to be on our team next year. But I feel like we have a great core. Our first priority is to sign Kelsey Mitchell back. Yeah. Was first team All WNBA last year. Kind of my running mate in the backcourt. She makes it really easy for me. So, there's nothing like playing for the Fever. I think we're going to be the favorite to win it all. That's out there.
So there you go. She talks about all the players that are free agents, how they only know about 3 to 5 players that are coming back. And a lot of people were reading into that about who was coming back. And of course, that the comments she made about Kelsey Mitchell being her backcourt mate and the priority of the team and equating that with what Stephanie White said, which a lot of people took differently at the time. Yes, she was a priority to re-sign, but also Stephanie White wants to make Kelsey Mitchell a priority within the offense, which is a whole nother discussion. But because of that, and I have my trusty phone here because I am actually without internet right now. If you see this, eventually I went somewhere and got internet to upload, or mine came back. But that's why I'm holding my phone, just if you want to know. Mick had tweeted out, so Kelsey is leaving for nothing next year, title or bust for Indiana. And the reason that came up, and what a lot of people, I think, in Indy fans, Caitlin Clark fans, and this isn't a criticism or anything, but a lot of them are just have this belief that, oh well, it's Kelsey. They love Kelsey, Kelsey, AB, Caitlin. They're all staying together. That's just what's going to happen, and that's not necessarily the reality of the salary cap situation now, where certain levels in terms of what players have to get paid or what a contract is relative to the salary cap is bigger now, right? The supermax is 20% of the salary cap. You've got pause 1 second. I just want to try and find something here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Well, anyway, Ken responded to Mick that, hey, Mick, why don't we focus on this year? Not enough going on this year for you. So I will say, in defense of Mick, and what I think a lot of people are not getting with this and the new reality of the WNBA in terms of the salary cap and what players can get paid, is a little more like other professional leagues. And again, and I used this before, but I want to, because it's such a great example now, I want to talk about the Eagles just for a minute, and Howie Roseman, our GM, was absolutely phenomenal at this. And it is, I get, an adjustment for fans. I get it. You get certain teams, there's a certain collection of players, and the chemistry they have and the camaraderie they have and the love for the fans and vice versa. And it's a special thing. But the reality nowadays with free agencies and the type of contracts players can get, if you want to be an organization, if you want a team that you root for to continually be a contender for a title, which should be the goal, you're going to have to adjust to the new reality of players not staying somewhere 5, 10, 15 years and moving on. Now, you may have that one core player, that one superstar that does. And the reason I use the Eagles is because in the past decade or so, Howie Roseman, our GM, has been an absolute master at balancing the focus on this season, but also the next season and the season after that, in order to continually be a contender. And so Howie's always evaluating, and he's looking at what he can get for for uh for a certain amount of money, the type of players that he can fit in around the other players, and be like, okay, well, when that player is a free agent, we can pay this. We can't go above that, even if emotionally we want to, even if we want that player here, even if we understand what that player brings to the team. We can't do that. And unfortunately, when you are a good team, a lot of times you will get other teams who want to take that next step, get to that next level. They will overpay. And with the Eagles, the last number of years, We get that all the time. Quick example, and then I'll tie this back to Indiana. Jalen Phillips, we got him in a midseason trade, brought him over from Miami Dolphins, ended up working out great for us for this season. He was going to be a free agent at the end of the season, so we hope to re-sign if it worked out, but basically we're looking at it as it might be a rental. I think we ended up having to pay him about million and a half over 9 games, of which he was very good. I think we gave up a sixth or seventh round pick, and then when he left in free agency, we got a sixth or seventh round pick as compensation for him. So it was basically we paid him very little to play 9 games. I think we were willing to go up to 20 million a season to re-sign him, but he got offered 30 million a season for 4 years. Yes, 120 million. I got the 8 in there because I was saying I think 80 million of that is guaranteed to go play for the Carolina Panthers. Howie Roseman was not going to match that. He had already made the decision. Another 10 million a year, right? Another 50%. No way, it was not going to work. So he has his other things that he has to think about. And that was in his mind when he made the trade during the season, right? It can't be just this year. You've got to think ahead as well if you want to be a team that continues to contend, and that you don't so you're not wandering around the wilderness of absolute, I was going to say mediocrity, but sometimes even worse, which is something we saw with the Indiana Fever for a number of years. But going back, like we had players getting very upset about the possibility, about people saying can't keep the big three together, which I have been one. And I'm not saying you can't, but interesting things would have to happen, and the players would have to make sacrifices to do it. I'm just saying, legitimately, if you look at Aaliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell and what their value is, next year you would have Kelsey is going to want that super max. If someone else is going to give it to her, you understand what I'm saying? Then she would be saying, I'm going to make the sacrifice of a lot of money, 300 grand. I think the next year the numbers are a little different, but using these numbers at 300 grand out of, the 1.1 million max, that's a significant amount of money. I'm sorry to anybody, right? That's a significant amount of money. We're not talking about a professional football player taking 22 million a year instead of 25 over 3 years, which is still a lot of money in and of itself, but come on, 1 year and you're set for life if you're not stupid. But so you've got a lot of people who think that it's hating on Kelsey Mitchell, or that we want Kelsey Mitchell gone. That's not it at all. I'm looking at the reality of Caitlin Clark's on the Fever right now. So the Fever is my team. I want the Fever to win championships, and I want them to contend not just this year, but next year and the year after. I don't want them to contend this year, fall short, and then next year they're going, 15 and 35, because the way they set things up with contracts and players, everything fell apart. But a lot of like this anti-three max players is like a sickness, cap derangement syndrome. Teams been doing it for decades. If they like each other and want to stay together, they will all figure it out. There's plenty of money to be made off the court. They all deserve it, but they also want to win. Very few players take less money. Yes, it does happen. It hasn't been happening for decades because this is brand new for the WNBA. Yes, there's been a salary cap, but the numbers haven't been as significant in terms of being a percentage of the cap overall. They've gone up. uh, you're never gonna get I get it, it's unique with Caitlin Clark in that situation for players like Lexi Hall and Sophie Cunningham, but for the most part, no, you're not players are not like, "Oh, well, I'll basically play for free because I'm gonna make money off the court." No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. They want their bag, so to speak. They want their money. Uh, I hope Kelsey retires with Indiana. She's amazing. The championship window is here. So if you want Kelsey to retire with Indiana, and I get it, especially the player's been there a long time, but most likely that means you're losing Aaliyah Boston or Caitlin Clark, or you're probably not putting enough talent around the big three in order to contend for the title, right? So yeah, it is possible to have a big three, but you know, and someone else responded on that, on what Caitlin was saying about this was directed at the people who got mad at Steph White when she said KM was the first priority when she was asked about free agency a while ago. No, no. Caitlin Clark was not going after people who were upset about Stephanie White. And again, not upset about Stephanie White prioritizing signing Kelsey Mitchell in free agency. People are upset about the fact that Stephanie White has made it very clear that Kelsey Mitchell is, for her, the number one option in the offense. One last thing I'll leave now. I gotta if I can find 2024 before I put this up, which I haven't been able to do, I will put it up because it's a little disingenuous because Caitlin only played 13 games last year. But someone I found a clip where someone put Kelsey Mitchell's assists broken down for last year, and the fewest assists that she has to another player, Caitlin Clark. Three assists in 13 games. By the way, Caitlin, that is not a backcourt mate making it easier for you, right? This kind of confirms what a lot of people talk about. We saw with Ari McDonald too when she came in as well as she did when she came in and played a little with Caitlin Clark, doesn't pass to her, right? Kelsey Mitchell's the same way. She only passes to Caitlin Clark if it's a it's her only option left, and it's not usually to set Caitlin Clark up for a basket. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. This is all coming to a head soon. We're getting the draft. We're free expansion draft, free agency period. It's either going to be absolutely frenzied and wild, and I'm going to love every second of it, or it's going to be very, very boring because there are so many free agents and they're all going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to stay home. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. We're still back under 14,800 subscribers. It is wild. Y'all going to get me to jump off a building, and I will shout out 19. I'll talk to y'all later.